Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody doing this morning? It is the Show Me the Shift podcast with me, Coach Lenora, certified life coach, international best-selling author, creator of the Victorious Movement, and HR certified professional, coming to you today to talk to you about purpose. And I'm outdoors today. I said I was going to switch it up and do something different because I am just loving that spring and summer and all of that is here. I guess summer starts on the 21st, so it'll be right here around the corner. And so I said, I'm bringing it outdoors today. It's a beautiful Friday. It's going to be hot today. Not too bad right now, but I know it's going to get even warmer. And so I said, since we're talking about purpose, and I feel like I am living in mine by being able to be here right now, outdoors, enjoying life. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go outside and I'm going to talk about purpose today from this perspective. So, on that note, we're going to talk about today something called ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese term that people might not be familiar with or know about, but it stands for iki, which is alive, and gai, which is reason. So the reason for you to be alive, the reason that you're here, which is purpose. So that's why today's topic is specifically about purpose, but about ikigai. And so it's based on this philosophy of four things. So it is, what do you love? It is, what are you good at? What can you get paid for? And what can you bring to the world? So those are the four principles of ikigai. And so what I wanted to do today was just break those down and talk about them a little bit, and then have a resource that's actually linked that gives you the opportunity to figure out what 5 barriers might be that are holding you back. That's something that's on my website, that are 5 barriers that could hold you back from pursuing your purpose, from doing what you are called to do. And so we're going to start with, what do you love? That principle of Ikigai, of what do you love? So what does that look like? What is something that fuels you, that is your passion, that you absolutely love and you would do no matter what? Like, a lot of times people will say that thing of, if you were to win the lottery, what is that thing that you would do, and it wouldn't even matter? Like, most people, if they win the lottery, yes, they're going to relax, they're going to enjoy, they're going to pay off everything. But at some point, maybe you just feel like, now I can pursue my purpose. Now I can do something that I love to do, that I'm called to do. And so what would that thing look like? What would that be? Money is no object. Doesn't matter. You would do it for free. What is that thing? Because that is really important to help you to understand that, this might really be or lead to what my purpose is. Maybe it is helping children, working with the youth. Maybe it is something in regards to working with people and helping to be an advocate for people who are not able to speak for themselves, whether it is from a health perspective or, again, a youth perspective, or someone who maybe is incarcerated or something to that effect. Like, is that something that drives you and moves you? Is it something from a perspective of, I just really enjoy, I think I told this story before, crafting. Somebody was just like, that's my love. That's my joy. I love crafting. This is the thing that just inspires me and makes me happy. And someone being able to truly make an income from that. And that's the part you also kind of can release, is it really that you need to focus on what you can make from it? Or is it focusing on what brings you joy, what brings you love? Right. And so, but yeah, thinking through that, what is it that you love, that you would do no matter what? And do you already have a way to do that right now? Do you have a way to do it? Or is there something that you could potentially put a process in place to help you to get there to do it, so that you're not 80 sitting on a rocking chair thinking, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this when I was younger? Why didn't I pursue what it was that I was called to pursue at a younger age? Even if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, it's never too late. You still have time. So thinking through that, what it is that you absolutely love. Then we're going to get to, what is it that you're good at? And what you would hopefully find is a lot of these things are in alignment, right? What it is that you're good at, as well as what it is that you love. Like I said, hopefully they're pretty much in alignment, but What are you good at? What is it that people come to you all the time and ask you about, that people want to know your expertise, your knowledge, your skills about? What is it that you can do for fun that other people look at and it's a challenge? We've talked about that before. So, what is it that you truly are gifted at? Like you just have a God given gift to do this thing. So, it could be that you're really good with numbers. It could be that you understand music like nobody else, right? You're the person who you can listen to it and you're like, oh, I hear the cymbals and I hear the drums and I hear, all the percussion. I like everything. You can just break it all down where other people might not be able to do that. Maybe it's about how you coordinate and plan. So is it about a travel, agent? Is it about being a coordinator, a planner of something in regards to doing party planning, event planning? So think about what it is that you're really good at, that's your real true gift. And don't worry as much about, is it something that you can monetize? We're going to talk about that in a second. But what is it that you really enjoy? What is it that you do really well? And ideally, hopefully, they align. And then you can go from there, right? So then what is it that you can get paid for? So that's the other question, right? How can you get paid? And I think a lot of times people get stuck on this because, especially if it's not something that is traditional, they may think, it's really hard to get paid for something that's not traditional. Like I talked about that person who loved crafting and they were like, I don't know how I'm going to get paid for this. I just know that I'm called to do it. I really enjoy it. And $20 million later, she's getting paid for doing what she loves, which is crafting. And it all happened by accident. It's almost like you have to start down a path of what it is that you really love and enjoy. And even if it's as a hobby at first, and then what can happen is that everything starts to open up. I think there's a quote by Martin Luther King Jr. that says, you don't have to see the whole staircase. All you have to see is the first step. And then the next step will unfold after that. And the next step will unfold after that. So if you find that there's something that you're passionate about, but you're like, I don't know how I'm going to generate an income from this, don't worry about that part of it as much. Just start down the path. Do something for fun. Do a little bit of something every day or every few days of the week that puts you in alignment with what it is that you know you're called to do when it comes to your purpose. And what you'll find is that doors will open and things will happen to make it so that the next step will unfold after that. And the next step will unfold after that. For that woman with her crafting, she just started going live on, I think it was TikTok or Instagram, talking about her crafting. Maybe it was even YouTube. And then the next thing you know, people were in her comments saying, hey, do you have your own yarn? Do you have your own scrapbooks that we can purchase from you? And she hadn't had any of that, but she said, maybe I'll look at a distributor and figure out how I can do that. And the next thing you know, she had a $20 million business because the requests that were coming in from her tribe, her community, were such that she was like, I can figure that out. I can determine how I can take this one small step. And then, that distributor opened up a door to this. And then that opened up a door to this. And the next thing you know, now I have ebooks and I have courses and I have all these things that my community has been thriving and asking about. And now I've created not only a community, but I've also created a business that is thriving. And so just think about it from that perspective. It doesn't necessarily always have to be that you know all the answers when you get started. Trying to hold on to that will typically hold you back from even getting started. So just release that and just say, you know what, I can't hold on to the result. I have to focus on what is the thing that I'm called to do and focus on that. And then work through that. And then everything else will fall into line after that, right? Okay. And then the last question was, what can you bring to the world? So everything that you are meant to do when it comes to these questions, what do you love? What are you good at? What can you get paid for? It all aligns with what is it that people need? What is the desire out there that people have, a need, a problem, a challenge that people have, that whatever it is that you do really well will solve that for them? And so it could be, as I mentioned before, it is about, I love to plan travel. Well, there's a problem if people don't enjoy planning travel and they want to work with someone who does. It might seem simplistic and you might say, I'm not really fulfilling a need. No, you are. You're fulfilling the need of someone who doesn't want to do it and you're willing to do it. They may say, I just want you to come up with my whole itinerary. Where do I show up? What do I do? And I just want to go and enjoy myself when I go on this vacation. You being able to curate something for them makes it so that you're solving a problem. The woman who was doing crafting and her being able to say, hey, this is how you do the loop, and this is how you do the scrapbook in this way that makes it look this aesthetic, and this is how you do this. Well, she was solving a problem for people who love crafting. They love that. And so her being able to show them a different way to do things, a better way to do things, a way to do things that made it so that it looked more aesthetically pleasing, it ended up giving them a better process and flow of being able to do something. People are willing to compensate for that. People are willing to do what it's almost to get what they want, they're willing to pay what they need to pay. And so based on that, that's why I said you kind of have to release how the payment is going to come. How is it something that you can get paid for? If it's meant to be, it's going to flow and it's going to happen. You'll attract the right people who want what it is that you offer. But what you have to realize first and foremost is, what are you bringing to the world? There are people out here who are waiting for you to step into your purpose so that way they can have their answers to their questions that they have. You stepping into your purpose is going to give them what they need. So I think a lot of times people think of it from a selfish perspective of, oh, I'm going to step into my purpose and I'm going to do this, and this is how much money I'm going to make. And I just see, you can't look at it from that perspective. You have to look at it from the perspective of, who can I serve? And as you are serving people, the rest will just happen automatically. It'll happen because of the fact that you are in alignment with what it is that you're called to do. And the people who have been waiting for you are going to automatically be drawn to that. They're going to be, it's just like the law of the universe. They're just going to naturally be drawn to that, because that's why God gives us free will, the free will to make those tough decisions, to decide that we're going to do what it is that we're called to do. And then as you do that, He's going to make sure, okay, you're doing it. You actually are doing the thing that I put in your spirit that you've always wanted to do, because He put it in you. He put it in you for you to even have that desire in the first place. And so based on that, it's like, oh, now you're doing it. Great. You used your free will. You took that step. Let me go ahead. And as long as you're consistent and you have the discipline, then I'll go ahead and make sure that the people who are supposed to be in your life, in your purview, in your space, your tribe, I'll make sure that they show up. And so it's an exciting thing when you think about it. And so, basically going back to these 4 things, though, these are things that what they do in Japan is they kind of write them out in different circles, and you answer each of those questions. So answer the question, what do I love? Put that in a circle. Have it overlap with the next circle, which is, what are you good at? Have that in a circle. What's your response there? What can you get paid to do? Put that in a circle. And then what can you bring to the world? How can you serve others? And put that in a circle. And then once you do all of that and write it out, what you're going to find is it's going to do a couple of things. It's going to help you know where you're in alignment with what you're currently doing. So if what you're currently doing is in alignment with what's inside those circles, then you know, hey, I'm probably living in my purpose. I'm probably doing what I'm supposed to be doing. If it's not in alignment with what is in those circles, then that helps you to know that that might be why you feel some unfulfillment, why you feel a disconnect, why you feel as though, I'm just stuck. I'm not doing, like, something's not flowing right. Something's not going the way that I need it to go. So that's where you'll feel that stuck feeling, is because you're not in alignment with what it is you're supposed to be doing. And so therefore you just might feel unsatisfied. You just might feel as though, there's something more that I should be doing. And so based on that, you need to realize that those circles and kind of the overlapping of that will help with the overall clarity that you have about what it is that you're called to do, what it is that you're supposed to do. And it's pretty powerful because it helps you to know, okay, how far away, how close am I to what it is that I'm supposed to be doing, or how far away am I from what it is that I'm supposed to be doing? And once you get that clarity, now you know. Now you know. So you know what you are called to do, what your purpose is. Again, Ikigai helps you because it's alive and reason. So why are you alive? And the reason for you being alive. So being in alignment with your purpose, the circles give you the answer. And then you have to just make that determination of, okay, am I going to pursue this and know that some of the things that I need in order for me to just be, to sustain life, is going to happen because of that fulfillment. Now, for some people, just generating the income alone, like for their family to provide all of that, that's their purpose. So whatever they are doing as their job, it works because that's in alignment with what it is that they're called to do. But you have other people who are like, I just need more. Like myself, I was in a career that I loved. I absolutely love talent acquisition. I love the company I was working for. I love my team. I miss them dearly every day. However, I knew that God called me for a bigger purpose to support and help and encourage people in a different way. And so based on that, I had to step out. It wasn't even a choice. It was like a slap me in the face, you got to do this or else kind of situation, or else you'll be feeling regret. That was really what it was going to break down to, is that you will feel regret if you don't. So let's go ahead, make sure you have the processes in place, make sure that you have everything in alignment so that you can pursue what you are called to do. And so that's what I stepped into. And it's been such a fulfilling process and just amazing. And so based on that, what is that thing for you? And it's a scary feeling, of course, but you can do it in increments. You can do it in small steps. You can do what you're called to do right after work, an hour a day, 2 hours a day, figuring out what it is by answering those questions we talked about earlier, but then also how do you put some small processes in place to help you to get to what it is that you know you're called to do. So, and the side effect of doing that, by the way, the side effect of you stepping into what it is that you're called to do is going to be the fulfillment's going to come. You're not going to feel as stuck as you have been feeling. You're going to feel as though you have the energy and the courage and the discipline, and you're not going to be procrastinating and all of those things that you might feel like you're going through right now as you're just even thinking about things with what you're currently doing, or how you feel sometimes when you think about your purpose and you're like, I don't know. You have to gain clarity. That's why you're feeling stuck. That's why you're feeling unfulfilled, is because the clarity isn't there. So answering those questions will help you with the clarity. Thank you for the like. And then in the process of that, you'll be able to get more processes in place. And again, everything else will just happen on its own. You can't get stuck on feeling as though you have to know all the answers and every single way in which things can get done, and this step after this, and this, you're never going to see the full path. You're never going to see the full path. You have to take the first step. And as I said, the staircase will reveal the next step after that and the next step after that. It's like driving in a car at night. You're never going to see from here to California. You're never going to see the view from here to California. What you're going to see is about 200 or 300 feet ahead of you with your lights on, right? And you just trust that the next 200 feet will unfold after that, and the next 200 feet will unfold after that, and the next thing you know, you'll be in California. But you don't know the direction. You have guidance, you have a GPS, you have ways in which you're going in the right direction, but you just don't know how to get to that end result until you unfold it as you go. So the longer we procrastinate on what our purpose is, what we're called to do, what we're meant to do, the longer it's going to be for us to get to that point of fulfillment, feeling unstuck, feeling as though, you know what, there's a purpose for me. There are people who are waiting on me. There are people who know, there are people that I know that I can serve. And until I step into that, I won't be able to fulfill how I can support others in their journey. And that's really what it's all about. The money, all of that comes just by osmosis, right? That's just when I step into what I want to do, when I step into what God's put in my heart for me to do, and everything else starts just attracting to me. Don't feel like you're selling things. Just no, I'm attracting what I'm supposed to be attracting because of who I am, me being authentic and me stepping into what I'm supposed to step into. And then the rest happens from there. So that's today's lesson. Ikigai, the Japanese terminology, Ikigai. Iki equals alive, gai equals reason. So our reason for being alive, our purpose. And so I hope you all enjoyed this episode today. I am going to go ahead, and I think you might even see a link to a ebook. It's free that I have in the description that basically is about the 5 barriers that are holding people back from what it is that they know they're called to do, what they really want to do. And so if you do get that guide, it's going to walk you through the 5 barriers, but it's also going to give you action steps that you can take as of today so that you can start putting processes in place so that you're no longer feeling stuck and unfulfilled. So, on that note, everybody, I hope you have an amazing Friday. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the weather. Hopefully, it won't rain too much or be too hot wherever you are. And we'll talk again soon in regards to the Victorious Movement. Oh, let me go into that. The Victorious Movement, my online community. I share information, tips, and things like this within the community. It's $27 a month, and I go into a lot of information. We're doing a vision board party this Sunday. We have motivational Mondays. We just have a lot of things that we're going through, questions of the day. It's just so much. So anyway, on that note, we're listening to Think and Grow Rich right now. So a lot of information that's within that community to, again, help you to get unstuck, help you to put processes in place, and help you to grow into who you know you already are. All right. On that note, everybody, take care. Have an amazing weekend. Bye.